Hey, what good with it, homie, man? Shit. Hey, man, look, we getting it cracking up in this motherfucker like we always do, man. It's an uncommon sense show. All right. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send a link to the crew. We're finna get biz, cause I like the way things are going, man. We got a lot of good conversation, good points, and all that good shit on that first one, man. We're gonna keep it on the second one, man. I'm sending a link out right now. You know what I'm saying? Let me send the link to my main man John, and we're gonna see what it do. Right now, like I say, man, I still got a little bit left of this Costco's finest. You know what I'm saying? My fucking wrist hurt, man. I'll be straight though, man. I got 4 games on my fucking July 9th, man. It's almost Leo season, man. Like I said, I'll be 43 this year, man. I don't want to do nothing, man. Barbecue, maybe hit Michigan City on some chill shit, go shopping, think about life, smoke some Newport 100s, drink some of that Costco's finest, you know what I'm saying? Some of that phony Irish whiskey on the new. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's all I really want to do, man. Maybe check out a baseball game, you know what I'm saying? I'll be on vacation. Johnny Strap, what it do, bro? Hey,
What it is.
Bro, look. I felt what Alicia was saying. Oh, at least the back up in the building already. But the thing is, see, okay, it's a fundamental difference between man and woman. And that's just what it is. And I'm not taking anything away from women, but I will say this about men. Us as men, we have to see the whole picture and not one pixel. We have to see the whole thing. So, which is why we would advise to you and to all women, if you're in a situation like that, your best bet would be to get to safety first, then make a call.
I wouldn't even disagree with that. Like, I think that the point was that I wouldn't disagree with what you're saying. My point is this: like, if there was a man there and they saw that going on, they should have intervened, right? Whether she,
who?
I'm just, and this is what Ebony was saying. Like, if you're saying that you look at, like, women don't look at one thing sideways. Like, we don't have tunnel vision, right? We can't afford to have tunnel vision because we kind of do the same things that you do. In this world today, we work, we raise children, we do we're multitasking. So we don't have the luxury of having tunnel vision. But if let's just say, I'm not going to use me for example. If I'm standing somewhere and a man aggresses me, and it's a man standing around me, whether I'm not talking about no goofy ass wanna go to toe fight a nigga shit. I ain't talking about none of that. But as a woman, if I'm standing in the park, let's say I have my child with me and I'm standing in the park, and some random ass man starts to approach me, and there's men around, I would expect a man to intervene, because at that point, whether I retreat or not, he's doing something that he ought not be doing. He's aggressing me and he could possibly hurt me. So if I retreat or not, there's a possibility that this man can do something to me. Again, I'm not talking about no woman that's trying to be a man, trying to go toe to toe, try to fight. But that's why Ebony said the protection is conditional. I had men in my life. I have men in my life. Right. Like my old man, my cousins, my brothers, my fathers, my uncles. I have never been anywhere that I have not felt safe around them. Okay. But I also, even I tell my daughter this: my sons and my nephews have a responsibility to my niece and my daughter, right? They're supposed to protect them. Their job is to protect them. My niece and my daughter's responsibility to their brothers and their cousins is that you don't put them in shit that could possibly cost them their life, or get them in the shit that is unnecessary. Meaning, like when they go to let's say they go to the park and the girls are outside playing basketball or whatever they're doing, and a bunch of guys come around. You can't play basketball with them because that's a potential problem, right? For your brothers and your cousins, because if those guys start talking nasty to you, if they start touching you in a way, they're going to feel a kind of way. Now it's going to be a fight, right? So you have a responsibility. So if I'm standing there minding my business and some fucking grown ass man walks up to me and starts hollering and shit at me, I would expect, my expectation would be that a man gets involved.
Okay.
Just so I'm
That
clear
would
what
be
you're
my
saying, are
expectation.
you saying your expectation is for the men who have direct connection to you to get involved, or any male in the vicinity?
Any male in the vicinity that sees something wrong, that sees that's going on, gets involved.
Would you do you tell your male children that you're responsible for all women?
Who, my male children?
Right. If you're out at the grocery store, you see a woman getting robbed, is it his responsibility to get involved?
No, what I tell my children is this: you have a responsibility to be a good person, right? And whatever that looks like for them. Like I would not, like, we've had conversations where I've told you all that I saw a guy hitting a girl and I pulled over with my daughter in the car and I called the police. Like, to me, that's my responsibility, because as a woman, as a mother, as a sister, as a whatever, if that was happening to somebody that I loved, I would at the bare minimum want somebody to call the police. Hey, she's getting beaten up in this car. They like dude pulled over on the block and started beating our ass in the car. I didn't know whether she was gonna fight me back or not, but at the very least that I could do was call the police and say, hey, this is their plate number, this is what's going on, y'all go see it. So I think that I teach them to be good people and good stewards of each other, right? And do for people what you would like for people to do to you. Mm-hmm. I don't try to put things, there's not a hard rule for me to that. But for me, I know that I would feel a kind of way if I'm standing somewhere and a man aggressed me and there were men around and nobody came to my aid. Like, whether I retreated or not, nobody came to my aid. I would feel a kind of way about that.
When you pulled over to help that young lady who was getting her ass beaten in that car, or on the street, or wherever you said she was getting whooped up, when you pulled over, if before the police got there, she came over to the car and she started trying to fight you for calling the police, how would that affect you on stopping for the next person?
I would have still did it.
You would still do it?
Yeah, most definitely. It's not because, again, like, my thing is not that my thing is doing the right thing. And to me, that's the right thing, period. That's the right thing, period. If I see somebody that is being hurt, my job is to be a good person and do what I think is right. Now, if she wanted to whoop on her ass, then fine, whoop, get out how you live. But I've done what I felt like I was supposed to do in that moment. I've done what, if somebody saw my daughter getting her ass whooped, I would want somebody to call the police for my daughter. I would want somebody to help my daughter. I would want somebody
call
to
the police or get physically involved. Call the police or get physically involved.
I would want somebody to do the right thing, whatever it is. Like, all I did was call the police. But even if somebody called the police to help me, I would expect somebody who saw this going on do something to help her. Whether it was calling the police, whether it was anything, it could have just been calling the police. I would expect people to do. That could have been my daughter. So I did what I expected somebody else to do for my child, and I would do it again.
I wouldn't. I don't feel bad about it at all. Like when those few times that it happened to me, and I realized that, damn, I could die over some dumb shit, I changed my behavior to I'm never getting physically involved again, ever, unless I directly know the person. And if I don't know you, my extent of getting involved is calling the police. Anything outside of calling the police, I wouldn't even consider. Because I don't think that that's a wrong position to take. Like, if you call the police, that's doing something. I don't necessarily think that it's always like, if they're tussling, I wouldn't necessarily say, hey, jump out in front of me, get involved. You don't have to do that. But call the police. Like, my thing is, you see something wrong, you can't fucking just turn a blind eye to it. It's not right. It's not the right thing to do. Okay, then we in total agreement. I agree with that 100%.
I agree.
I want to know Will, what are you drinking? Kool-Aid right now, nigga? What is in that cup?
Yeah, Kool-Aid, man.
Will is in that Superman pose again.
He over there drinking that poisonberry over there.
I want to drink what Alicia's drinking.
It's a pomegranate mimosa.
Oh, that's good.
You fancy, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
tonight.
She ain't at the she ain't in the
ER tonight. Pinks too.
That's right.
And she a grab. Don't you turn your back on Alicia. I swear to God, don't do it.
I don't have to, because I keep my cup. Look, let me tell you something.
Your back.
Let me tell you something about me. I do not go outside. Like, there are very few times that I go out at night by myself, just because of even my son. Like, if I come out of my house right now, my son and my nephew will come out the house and say, where you going? Let me be
Right.
right
They're
with you.
supposed to.
You know,
Yeah.
because that, so, you know, and I don't put myself, I'm not, I don't even say put myself. People don't bother me. I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't get bothered. I don't get bothered.
They know
What'd you say?
everything about you saying Southside, so they like, no, don't fuck with that
Right,
one.
that's what I'm saying.
Don't fuck with
Right,
that one.
back off of her. Don't
No,
fuck
but
with her.
nobody bothers me. But I just, you know, I've grown up with men in my life, and I've seen how protected they are of me, and I've seen the standard that they have. So my expectation for most men is that that's what you're supposed to do, and it doesn't not necessarily get, even with the lady, like maybe not get physically involved, but you
But
know,
some of these women, when they be talking about protection, I be wanting clarity. What do that means?
Right.
well, so I think for some women, they misunderstand what protection means. And I was told at a young age that you can't protect anything that you can't control, right?
Right.
And so
Yes.
when you say, when you use that phrase, a lot of women, it's very off-putting. That word control is very off-putting. But if you put it in context, it makes sense, right? I can't protect my child if my child is disobedient, right?
Right.
And so people understand that in that context, because if I tell my child this, and this, and they don't listen, then I can't protect you because I'm telling you not to do something and you're doing it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. Like my cousins, like y'all know I live in Birmingham now. And my cousins, like I'll tell them all the time, I want to go to the hood, I want to go here, I want to go there. And my old man or my cousins will be like, well, okay, no, you can't go there. Stay away from here, here, and here. I don't ask why, right? I don't go. But the reason I don't ask why, and the reason I don't go, is because I was raised in a way that I know that whatever they're telling me not to go to is something that's harmful, right? Whatever it is, it's not a good environment for me to be in. So I'm older than my cousins. Like I'm like 4 or 5 years older than my cousins. But if they say don't do something, I don't do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women, they mistake that don't do it as that motherfucker ain't gonna tell me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have to be the kind of person, like you can't be a half-assed man either, because you can be, it's hard to take direction from somebody who has no direction, right? And it's hard to take direction from somebody whose interests, if I feel like your interests are not aligned with mine, or that you don't have my best interests at heart, it's hard for me to listen. But I think that we need to start teaching our girls the same thing that I was taught. You can't protect what you can't control. And if you're expecting protection, then at some point you have to take direction from me, but you also have to learn how to direct and lead. And those things are synonymous with each other. So I think that that's the biggest thing, is that we don't know how to follow, and some of y'all don't know how to lead. And so now we have this shit going on.
Well, it has to be, the thing is, I think for a woman to take direction from a man, it has to be a certain level of trust there. And the thing is, it's kind of, I would imagine it would be hard for women to trust, Black women to trust Black men today, because the stigma is that we don't do anything right. We're fucked up. We do everything wrong. We cheat, we steal, we rob. We got a million fucking babies scattered all over the planet. So I imagine really, that's the stigma. It's not the facts. But I imagine it would be really hard for Black women to trust a Black man because of the stigma that's out there, instead of looking at the actual character of the individual and trusting him based on his character. See, we don't do that no more. You know, we don't get to know one another. It's always, I think relationships today is a thing where everybody's trying to see what they can get. Everybody's looking to beat out the next person and one up the next person.
Totally agree with that.
To be together. Yeah. See, that's the problem, is that, you know,
nobody want no individuals.
Right, we so far away from just basic shit because we so damn greedy and self-absorbed that we don't want to work with nobody. We want people to work for us, and that's both some man and some women, and that's a fucking problem. And so, in an instant like that, whereas if I'm out somewhere and I see a chick getting her ass whooped, honestly, like, at this stage, Because you know what? I'm worried about being mine. And I'm selfish too.
Yep.
Why should I sit up and put my life on the line? Not when I know that I can go in a lot of these neighborhoods and the motherfucker don't give two shits about me. They don't care what I did,
But that's a very generic and generalized statement that you made. Like, I definitely, if I saw something happening to you, whether I knew you or not, at the very least, I would call the police or something, like, because it's the right thing to do. And I think that, you know, even when you talk about like women and these black men have a stigma on them, I don't think it's that. Like, I think that it's just not black men. It's just that a woman will naturally follow a man that she trusts. So trust is a big issue. Naturally, I said, I'm not talking about these aggressive type women. I'm not talking about.
This is why I have to disagree.
Yeah.
Women or men, people do what they either learn, they see, or something like that. If you haven't seen what it means to be submissive, you don't understand what it means. So whatever you try to emulate by way of being submissive, if you don't really know what that means, case in point, I talked to, this actually was my ex-wife, but whatever. So talking to her in understanding of what submissive meant, she literally thought that submissive meant that she doesn't stand toe to toe to me. We don't argue back and forth, but she can subvert what I'm trying to do. That's the fucking opposite of submissive. If you're trying to go against what I'm trying to do, that's not submissive. But that was her actual idea of what it was. So if they never learned,
what's submissive? What is submissive to you guys?
Well, specifically, we're talking about protection. When I say submissive, I literally mean do what the fuck I tell you to and stay in your place. Because right now you're talking to a subject matter expert and keeping your ass safe. So there is no discussion. There is no I think. There is no what about. You do what the fuck I tell you to.
But so let me put this in context, right? So when you're talking, when you pigeonhole that, it lacks something, right? Because in order for me to get to that point with you, it has to be more. You know what I'm saying? So
no.
Let me finish. Like, so when you say that, it makes sense to you. But if you're lacking in other, if I can't trust you, right? If you don't show me that you have my self-interest, like there before you get to that point where you could tell me just do what I say do, and and there's no question. And when we're talking about protection, like there are things that you have to nurture and grow. Like you have to nurture those things in a relationship to get to that. I'm telling you, shaking your head no, but I'm telling you because like Kenar just said, you have to have trust. And you have to build that trust. So you have to show me.
Alicia, we're not talking about trust okay. That's why I specifically limited that direction was only for for a couple other things. No, I'm talking about submission in regards to protection.
Well, but that's what but what I'm saying to you is that I agree with what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that you can't, when you talk about submission, it has to include those things before you get to that point, because there's levels to that, right? There's levels.
Alicia, listen to me. We're talking about me protection in the sense of me doing what is best for you. Your physical security. You're talking to a soldier who done been there, done that. There is no nigga on this earth who is going to protect your life better than me. It is not going to happen.
I'm a soldier too, but if I ask you for protection, I mean, what we're talking about?
No, I'm not. Wait,
does that mean because I'm a soldier, I don't get your protection?
No, listen to what I'm telling you. I'm not talking. Listen, I'm not saying I'm okay. I was in SOCOM for 12 years. I'm not talking about just the average song. I'm talking about if you need me to do that thing, we can do that thing. But you will do what I tell you to. When I tell you to beat your ass in the house by a particular, if I tell you to give me a call, I don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm up. Give me a call at 4 o'clock. If you stand with your friends, I don't care what you do. You're an adult. But you will call me and let me know that your ass is alive before I take my ass to bed. That's not up for discussion. It will happen, or we will have some problems. We're starting there. Right. Once we're in a relationship, and I'm not responsible for you, there is no discussion. We're starting from the place of you will do what I tell you to. You will keep your fucking gas tank above a quarter of a tank in the wintertime. I'm not asking you.
You will keep my gas tank above a quarter of a tank.
That's fine. I will. But you better let me know.
But you
I will get up
supposed
at 3 o'clock in the morning and go to the gas station. But if I wake up and find out that this motherfucker is almost empty, woo! I will throw you. I will throw you
Right.
into Lake
What you?
Michigan.
I mean, 'cause that, what's the whoa? What's the whoa? Because you
It's gonna be burning from
hey,
morning.
I come wake you up when it's a quarter left. I got a quarter of a tank. Hey, boo, it's 3:30 in the morning. I got a quarter of a tank left.
And I don't have a problem. And you know what? I don't have a problem getting my butt up. That's my job. That's my job. You ain't about to be out there pumping gas 3 o'clock in the morning. That's cool.
I ain't gonna pump it 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
But if it's kissing that doggone eat, boy, I may fuck around and bring back a gallon and throw it on your face just to prove my point.
I mean, well, you might get cut and get some soft on in your room too. I mean, have you want to get down that night? We both ain't gonna be going to work. Nobody going to work that day.
Told you they gonna be fighting all night.
Nobody going to work that day. We gonna be some fighting asses up there.
So that's what I'm talking about. So case in point, if she was let's see what she was subject matter expert in. She was we had a different. I'm sure there was something. I can't think of it right now. But I'm not saying she had no comments. But there were things that I deferred to her on. First of all, I deferred to her on paying the bills. I didn't want to deal with the shit. She didn't work. I made the money. Blah blah blah. I'm not about to come home and deal with bills. Here go the check. You take care of all the rest of that stuff. I defer to you. Go ahead and do that thing. So I'm completely fine with that. So when you're a subject matter expert in something, you don't have to work up. I don't have to prove my resume to you in this area. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was a chef, you defer to me when it comes to cooking. I don't have to prove who I am.
I gotta taste your food first, just because I didn't have some chefs who can't.
Maybe that was bad example.
I can't just take your word that you a chef and your shit is good, nigga. Your meat might be a little wrong.
Maybe it's a bad example.
I gotta see.
It's a challenge, and it's a lack of respect. See, that's the problem I have.
No, it's a you build a rapport. It's not a lack of respect. Just because you say, hey, I'm a chef, nigga, you might not. Some people, it's people out here right now that are self-proclaimed chefs that I'm bloody chicken, right? So just because you say that, like you have to build anyway.
Okay, what about Alicia? You got like 2 businesses or something, right?
Yeah, 3.
Okay, so 3 businesses. Okay, so I assume that tells me at the very least you have some semblance of knowing how to budget.
Okay.
No?
I mean, I do.
Don't
Oh, hell no. I don't trust shit you about to say. I don't trust shit
She
you about
holding
to say.
paperwork in her hand now.
Right. So I know
She
seriously,
holding
I
paperwork
assume
in her hand right there.
because you got those businesses and you deal with these people and send them out to go get packages and whatever other businesses that you got, that you got an understanding of like accounts receivable and stuff. And you have an understanding of, look, I got this much money coming in, I got this much money going out. So I can defer all that to you. There's no need for me to get involved. If you say, hey, this month we got 2,000 to play with, next month we're gonna have 1,500 to play with, and we're gonna blah, blah, blah. You don't have to prove shit to me. Now, if your business is a failure, if your business is a failure, then we got a problem.
Well,
I would
say this.
Would you want somebody to check up behind you?
Right, somebody
Would you want somebody to challenge you on that?
Let me say this. Like, I don't necessarily know that it would be challenging, but for me, and this is for me being a single woman and a single woman that has raised children, I don't leave myself out there, right? Because I got too much shit to lose. So I'm not that I would be on your back to make sure that you are what you say you are, but I'm not taking your word for shit, right? Because this is how I think. Why you turning up your face, heartbeat? Just listen at me right quick. Just listen at me, right? Once you listen at me, understand, right? So I'm gonna talk about me specifically, right? So I have four children. I'm raising 4 kids, right? And it's just me in the household. And I have to maintain this household. I have kids in college. I got kids in high school. I have to maintain this, right? So I have a man that comes into my life and he says that he's good at this, and this, right? But before I let myself go, because I still have, like, if you're self-proclaimed and you don't show and prove that you are in fact that, then I have shit to lose. And not only do I have shit to lose, but the people depend on me are losing too, right? Because I have other people that depend on me. So I can't afford just to take somebody's word for anything. Because if I do that, I could lose my house, I could lose my car, I could lose the kids' tuition.
We're talking about the stuff that you already have.
But see, what we're talking about, it's not that I'm going to be on you. And even with me, like, if you got shit to lose, You want to make sure that I am, in fact, doing what the fuck I say. Because I might be cooking books. I might be fucking up like you don't know. So your initial response should not be, let me hand all this shit over to you at once. Because if you got shit to lose, like I got shit to lose, I'm not so willing to part with the shit that I like because I got other people that depend on me. It's different when if shit go to hell, I'm only the one affected. I'm not the only one affected by shit that I do. I got 4 other people that depend on me heavy. So when somebody comes to me, any man comes to me and say they have shit, just like if any woman comes, you say, hey, even though I'm good at books, I'm very organized. You don't have to be on me, but you want to watch and make sure that I am what I say I am, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Because if you if you entrust me with your books and your money, and I fuck that shit up, whoever is depending on you, I'm gonna not only fuck you, but I'm gonna fuck them. And that's my only thing. Like it's about accountability and it's about being responsible. If we all old here, older. We all have people that, older. I mean older.
I'm the youngest.
Now the young whippersnapper.
No, Nick, no, you ain't heartbeat. But we have people that depend on us. So we can't afford to lose money, time, the shit that we've invested in, we can't afford to lose that. And if we lose that, that's going to hit us hard than it would hit somebody at 20. So you can't afford just to take somebody's word for shit, because if they fuck it up, what you gonna do?
But when it comes to, we started this by talking about protection. No woman in all of the history of life or ever has taken on full responsibility of protection. Whatever woman that you can think of, the best that she can say is, I was raised by brothers, I had men in my life. It was never her first and foremost responsibility to deal with protection, ever. So how is she ever going to be a subject matter expert in protection compared to a man? I'm talking about.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that? King and Zinga was fucking protection. What are you talking about?
What's a Zinga?
That's not true.
What is
King and Zinga
was protection? It was a whole army of them.
Wait, hold on for a second. What is King and Zinga?
She was a king.
Zinga, Queen and Zinga. N-Z-I-N-G-A and Zinga.
Okay.
Hey, hold on. By the way, hey, before we get into all this other shit, Eb in the building. I want to welcome Eb.
Hello, motherfuckers. How y'all feeling tonight?
All right, how you doing tonight?
Peace and blessings.
Peace and
Just
blessings.
say peace and blessings too after she called you a motherfucker.
Right. We're gonna tell her peace and
I done been a motherfucker before, and I plan to fuck a couple more. That's not the point, though.
Damn.
Sorry I'm late, guys. I actually got invited on the podcast, so I was trying to do that. I didn't know it was gonna go all the way over like that.
Oh, word. Where's that? We want to check that out.
I'm gonna wait for her to send the link. Actually, it was somebody from TikTok.
Word.
Yeah, she's got a certification in podcasting and stuff, so she invited me on her little show.
Okay.
Well, look at you out there doing shows and shit.
I know you've been
gonna change the world
on TikTok. Like
I'm gonna do something. I got a couple of. My knees might be bad, but I feel I got a couple more years to be a revolutionary. So we're gonna see what this shit do.
Okay.
You got 6 months.
You know what, Johnny? I got, you know what, and guess what? I got 6 months, and then when that injection went off of my knee, I get another one. I got another 6 months, goddamn it. Now
there you go. There you go.
As you tell.
Over 6 months. This shit's hurt.
Yeah.
But I ain't mad at you though. It's good to hear from you. It's good to see you here. And
so what happened with Roe versus Wade shit? What was the consensus?
We ain't even got there yet. We ain't even got there yet. No. This is what we was talking about. Okay. Did you see the video where the baby mama got mad at the dude because he only brought McDonald's for his son? Now she had 4 kids combined, right? Dude had one son with her. And so he brought McDonald's for his one son, and she popped off and got mad because
he filmed it.
He didn't break right and filmed it.
That's okay. I mean, honestly, and this is just my opinion, I can understand her being upset for her children, but the reality is his responsibility is only to his child.
Indeed.
Right. Because child support gonna look at it just that way.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly
right.
that
Any
way.
child support is for that
Honestly,
child.
I'm sorry. Child support.
Not...
So regardless of what she's saying, let's say he brung food. whatever state she in, the state gonna everybody that's an adult should know by now that if he's paying child support, he only doing it for one child.
Exactly. You
Right.
ain't mad at him.
So make him
You ain't
look
mad
bad
at him
on
when
that
that check
too.
come for that
Well,
one
the
child.
state take only
But, I
just your
mean,
paycheck from just them on one kid. What about the rest of them, Court?
it's a bad look. I understand. But then on the other side,
Just to go down
why
to the
was
court and say that
I
shit.
got questions though? Why was he bringing only his child something to eat and nobody else?
Because fuck those kids. Because fuck those kids.
And in all fairness to him, he may not have had enough money, but she
Right,
made
that's
it
true.
clear when she made
That's
that
what I'm
video
saying.
that
If he paying
he
child support
always
for one,
What the fuck was she
if he's
providing
paying
for her?
child support,
other
right?
kids?
If he paying child support for that one child, and he decide he in the area, he want to give his kids some McDonald's or something, or the
Right.
baby wanted it.
And then a jive ass broad go sit around.
There you go.
I just want
There
to
you
take
go.
it to court.
For the other three.
It'd been really funny if she would have filmed herself going to court saying this in front of a goddamn judge.
And then she got a fucking
Fuck
attitude
him.
about it.
Tell the judge that he ain't paid enough
Well,
child
she
support for
getting,
my
I
other
feel like this,
kids.
y'all. She getting dragged on social media, so
Yeah,
She
okay.
is.
Well,
But,
it's out here.
Yeah,
She
I
is
say for the
getting
most
dragged,
part.
though.
Fuck ass shit.
She is
Because
getting
they feel
dragged.
like
she
they
getting
deserve it.
dragged
hold
because
on. They
The
feel
stupidity
like,
women are talking about now, some of these women are sick of that shit too.
word up.
Yeah.
Shit is
Because
goofy.
motherfuckers are starting to
Yeah.
see the real
They
deal.
mad
How
because
you
it's
gonna sit up
goofy.
here
You
and
gonna
you
have a
gonna
woman
pop
on,
off, and the other three
yeah.
baby daddies ain't show the fuck up. But the one that did, you gonna bite his fucking head off because he ain't buy your other kids some fucking.
She
and
just
this is,
mad.
I mean, honestly, this is a teachable lesson for everybody who out here skeeting and letting somebody go ride them.
That's true.
True.
You need to check the pedigree for real, because
Right.
True.
at
And
this
start
point,
teaching these women to
neither one of them, it don't seem like neither one of them, and I don't know the guy, I don't know neither one of them, but to me, it's like, okay, I can see both sides. Like Alicia said, maybe he couldn't afford to feed all of them. But then,
you feel like he was petty.
no, I don't feel like he was petty. I feel like,
Some people might feel like
how can I say this?
that.
To me, it's kind of a sticky situation, because you shouldn't have to not give your child what they want because they got brothers and sisters. But on the other hand, something like that, knowing that it's other kids there, is kind of bogus to bring just one something.
And I'm gonna tell you what.
Daddy's there.
When she recorded that video, the first thing out of her mouth was,
Well, she ain't
he
get that
does
stamp
this. He does this
all
all
the
the
time.
time. He only brings for one, right? And then her behavior, if he was nice enough to bring it, the way that she's behaving, he's not obligated. You had children with other men, right? You want, so I'm bringing food for my child. Like, you don't know what his pockets look like. She don't know what either. But it's not my fault. It's not even my responsibility to know that your stamps didn't come. You should plan better, right? But because your stamps didn't come, what I'm doing is ensuring that what I produce is eating, right? And what you do with that food, because if you were concerned with the kids eating, what you did was essentially throw the food in the streets, right?
See, that, I didn't see. I didn't even watch the video, but
she
that
told
was
him. So there was a part two. There was a part
She
two,
threw
and
the
what she
food
did
in the
was
way. I ain't see that.
yeah, she told it was a part two, and so he asked her where, he said, I only have one child. You have three others. Where are their fathers? Why aren't you calling their father? Then what she said, he said, why don't you send him out here to the car and he can eat in the car? No, I'm not doing that. Then she said, give the food here. Give it here. She took the drink and she took the food and she slammed it. She like threw it across the street. So the pop spilled and the food went all over everywhere. So if your concern was that your child ate, then you wouldn't have done that. But if you were really concerned with your children, what you would have done was be nicer, because he didn't seem like he was an unreasonable person.
Right.
You could have said, hey, you feed all my kids or something like that. But her behavior dictates that. Why the fuck would he ever be nice to somebody who's behaving like that, right? Why? So I don't think it's a sticky situation, because he's feeding his child. He's feeding what he produced. And bitch, if you needed help, you should act like you need help and not be trying to mouth beat me and put me on social media.
Like I said, I didn't know all of that. So now it's like, I don't know why they do shit like that. I'm just glad black men
don't run America, because we be fucked.
I'll tell you why.
Niggas be running the banks. Women be knocking on that motherfucker. Bring all my goddamn money out
No,
of there.
no. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something,
Not
right?
all of
That's
y'all, I'm just
that's
saying,
y'all's
that
fault
particular woman did
because
that.
what you're doing is
She's like, bring
you're
all
not
my shit out of there.
you're not there. These men are not worried about the woman's character, their morals. Shit.
Yeah,
You
that's
see a
true,
fat
though.
ass, big titty, somebody
That's
suck dick,
true.
shake ass, and that's what you go for, right? So when you go for that
That's
and you
true.
take that
That's what you
home
get,
and you
kind of.
have
Yeah.
sex with her and you procreate with her, what the hell happened?
That's true.
That's her fault. I mean, that becomes your
That's
fault.
true, though.
Because she's exactly who she was when you met her, right? She's doing the
Yeah.
exact same
She
things, the
looked
exact
like it,
same
too.
attitude, exact same behaviors that she had when you met her. So now that you had your fun and now you got to deal with it for 18 years, now you want to talk
that's
about it.
messed up.
But you made an active decision to
I agree with everything you just said. These niggas need to stop fucking skipping.
They do. They really do.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to she's the same person, I agree that she is the same person. What I don't agree is that the guy or the female, either or, people can have them. So, and since if they was together, them having children, this wouldn't be a situation, right? If they was together. Mm-hmm. So she may not have shown this part to him while they were together. This could be something that she didn't find out until like it was too late. Like, oh, this bitch is fucking nuts.
But you know but maybe not to that extreme, but people's thought patterns and behaviors show themselves, right? We choose to ignore them. We choose to ignore them because she may not have been extreme because she was with him. So we tend to not, when we hurt and we're emotionally underdeveloped. That's what you saw with her, right? She's emotionally underdeveloped, so she doesn't know how to deal with whatever she's feeling. So she's acting out. But even the thought pattern with, I'm going to mistreat this man who is trying to be a good father to his son by feeding him. I'm going to ostracize him. I'm going to put him on TV. I'm going to put him on whatever social media. This is what I'm going to do, as opposed to
the child altogether too.
Right.
Punishing the child too.
As opposed to having a conversation with him outside of social media and just explaining what's going on. Because that would have been a mature thing. But that kind of behavior would have shown itself several times in the relationship, that she has poor communication, right? That she has different expectations, right? If she has 3 other children, and again, we don't know why the fathers aren't around. I'm going to assume it's because of her behavior, but when you have children and their fathers are not around, then you want to ask questions too, like why, because everybody can't be a piece of shit, right? Everybody can't be an ain't shit nigga. So if this is a thing, you start asking questions, or you start to see. But if her thought pattern, if her logic then is that you have to buy for all of my kids because this is their siblings, that has exhibited itself and shown itself at some point before, because she didn't just start this shit, right? And so it may have been very subtle, but you have to watch those things, because that's an illogical thought pattern. Like it would be a nice thing to do. It'd be a nice gesture for you to bring something for everybody, but you're not obligated to it. So I appreciate it. She didn't even appreciate the shit that he did for his son. She started talking about her other kids as if his obligation is to them because she had one child with him, but she said nothing about the other fathers. And I wonder, did the other fathers even feed their children? Where are they at? But she wants to torture this man. So those behaviors are not, she may have not been like wild with it, but she's shown some shit that just, she's not a logical thinking person.
Probably the only daddy that probably was doing something for any of the damn kids.
And she angry. And she mad than a motherfucker.
This bitch don't know who the other fathers are. Let's be honest.
That's probably true.
She ain't got no fucking clue.
She a fucking welfare recipient, jive ass broad. And it's
He's in well.
No, but just because you're a welfare recipient does not mean that you be. I know people that have gotten public aid that does not behave like that, and they make their food stretch. I'm telling you, that woman is not mad about that McDonald's. That's not
mad at him.
About.
She won't him.
It's something.
Think about it. That man doing that. Can you imagine going through 3 different men that didn't even do that? They probably didn't buy her McDonald's.
But we're assuming that these men don't.
Seriously.
We're assuming that those men didn't. But how about her behavior may be the reason why they don't come around? Because who wants to deal with that shit?
Right. Real
you know
shit.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you, look, okay, you know, I'm gonna tell you the secret.
I still believe she ain't getting no McDonald's.
I'm gonna tell you the secret. I'm gonna tell you this out. I'm gonna tell you the secret. I'm gonna tell you the secret. For y'all women that don't know, okay, because there ain't but 2 women on here. I'm gonna tell you the secret about men. Niggas will fuck anything.
So true.
That's the secret.
So true.
So don't think cause a nigga fuck that he like you. He just wanna fuck.
So true.
But you shouldn't. If all
And
you want to
then
do is
you-
fuck, then you shouldn't shoot up the club while you're doing it, right? Put it
Exactly.
out.
Now
Can't shoot up
that
the
is
club.
true.
No, I'm just being real.
That
I'm
agree
being
with you.
real.
That is true though.
There's some grimy niggas out here that don't give a fuck.
Give a
That's just on
fuck.
some whatever
Right.
shit.
Yeah. Them dudes don't care at all.
So don't think it's like, oh,
A
I'm
real
so
dude be
fine.
trying to get her to swallow
No.
though.
Right. See, because
What?
that's some other shit. See, we're on some other shit.
I'm just being
Look,
honest.
What the
But
hell,
that's real
Will?
though.
I'm
But that's
just
real.
saying, though.
But niggas will
Hey,
fuck
that's
anything.
safer.
It's not a
You're not gonna get
compliment.
pregnant.
It's not a compliment because a nigga fuck. Okay, a compliment
Right,
is when
that's true.
a nigga take you to the motherfucking altar. A nigga that
Right, put a ring on your finger, propose to you.
Real shit. A nigga
Yep.
put money on you. A nigga invested in you. That's a
Yep.
compliment. But other than that, it don't
Fucking
mean shit.
animals fuck. Every
What up?
mammal fuck.
They go rock too. They don't wear no.
Every
And
mammal.
they go
and all
rock.
that sounds good.
mammals.
When
All
you-
that sounds good. But when you have sex and you make babies, whether your intention